Hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all, hey y'all. How y'all doing? How y'all doing out there? Oh my God, let me get it together. I'm just got out the shower. Whatever. Missing lashes. I don't even care. But whatever. We gonna get it together. We gonna get it together. How y'all doing? How y'all doing out there? What is cracking? My YouTube family. How y'all doing? All right, so let's talk about it Tuesday. Let's talk about it Tuesday. So let's talk about it, right? So I titled this Talk About It Tuesday, Who's Ringing Your Phone? Hey, welcome, 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 welcome to this live. So let's talk about it Tuesday, who's ringing your phone? Who's ringing your phone? So this is what I came up with, right? So I wanted to talk about it on Tuesday because it's Talk About It Tuesday. I did a later Talk About It Tuesday because a lot of people was like, you did it too early. And other people like, I be at work. You shouldn't be at work right now. And if you are, I'm sorry, but make sure you got your headphones in because I do not use kid-friendly language. I use adult language to get my point across. That's what it is. So let's Talk About It Tuesday. How y'all doing? Welcome. All right. So Talk About It Tuesday on YouTube. Here we are. Here we are. All right. So I said, who's ringing your phone? Now this ain't gonna be a long one. I ain't trying to go too long with it, but I want to bring this home real quick for a few people who are battling with their spirituality. For a few folk who really need that extra push in life, that extra to understand that you are the shit. So here we go. Talk about it. Who's ringing your phone? I don't know about y'all, but because technology is where it is, I have different ringtones for different people, right? So you know who's called. So I know who's calling me when they calling me. I just decided to go back in and redo all of my ringtones. So I noticed as I redid my ringtones this particular year, because I redo my ringtones whenever I feel like it. I don't have a set time. I just redo them whenever I do it. But who's ringing your phone? That's the point of this, right? Of Talk About It Tuesday. So let's talk about it. So I set different ringtones for different people. And if you notice that when you set different ringtones for different people, you might tell the person that the ringtone don't mean nothing, but it definitely do if you took time to set it. So me personally, like I actually go through my songs that I have ringtones that identify with certain people. So my ringtone for all of 2020 was Lizzo's Water Me. Basically anytime my phone rang for any business that wasn't a family member or whatever, my phone would ring and it would sing the Water Me song. And that part of the song where it uplifted me was the portion where she discussed how I moisturize myself. I go into myself, I make sure that I'm okay before I start to give other things out, right? So if you don't know about Lizzo, get on Lizzo because Lizzo is that chick. And I would pull up the song, but neither here nor there. So the song was popping so much on my phone to the point where my child learned the lyrics of the song from my ringtone. So this is what I'm talking about, right? You got no sound. I don't know what's going on. I got sound on my side. What's happening? Oh, are you the only one with no sound? Is it not? Oh, what's going on here? Don't play with me, YouTube. Not today, not today. Oh, come back, come back. Let me know. Is anybody else getting sound? Is it just one person who ain't got no sound? Everybody, can y'all hear me? Can you hear me good? You need to do I need to do a reset right quick? Because I'm getting real upset with that. Not like, no, man, that's not gonna work for me. That's not gonna work. Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me? All right, let me know. Let me know if my sound is there or not. Because listen, I want everybody to get this message. So let me know if my shit is working. But it's saying my shit's working. So I need to make sure that you can hear me. Can you hear me? Because the message is important. Who's ringing your phone? And it's really that simple. Who's ringing your phone? Who are you allowing to get through to you? Because last time I checked, I pay my motherfucking phone bill, and it's that simple. So can y'all hear me? Y'all got do I got sound? Okay, word, word. Okay, good, good. All right. So where I was going with this was this simple, right? I'm happy you got sound work because that's where I was at. All right. So this is where I was going with it. Who's ringing your phone? So when it comes down to it, when you start to set ringtones for yourself, so think about the ringtone that you have for your phone. Right now, if you have like the basic T-Mobile jingle, you really have no identifiable plans for your life. Let's just be 110. Because real talk, if you set a ringtone for your phone, it definitely helps you to aspire to things daily. So every time your phone rings, it might trigger a memory for you to do something for your business. Excuse me, it might trigger a place that you might want to go and visit. It might trigger something for you to move in a positive direction. So when I said who's ringing your phone, it's not about the people who are calling you. It's about the message that you receive when you answer your phone, when you say hello, when your phone is ringing. If you're one of those type of people who get a lot of anxiety because when your phone rings, you always receiving bad messages or whatever on the other end, maybe it's time to just change your ringtone. And I'm saying this out of complete like real talk. I've done it. I want to go back because I said I had studied myself for a very long time on this topic. I had been setting my own ringtone since like what years? Since like 2010, like real talk, for like 11 years, right? So I downloaded this app. It's called Ringdroid. I don't know if y'all got T-Mobile, but I've been a T-Mobile customer for years. We ain't gonna talk about it, but I had downloaded this app years ago. It was called Ringdroid. So I got the app called Ringdroid, and what Ringdroid does is it allows you to convert your songs on your phone into actual ringtones, notification tones, whatever. So I had the conversation with my aunt the other day because she's an older lady. She's about to be 80. Quit playing. I take care of my elders. So I go over and visit my auntie. And remember, if y'all follow me on Instagram, I had a discussion about respecting your elders and the fact that time goes forward. So I went over and visit my auntie about setting these clocks back or whatever. And while I was there, she was like, I heard this ringtone on your cousin's phone and I want it on my phone. So, of course, I got to create a ringtone for my auntie. So I picks up her Android phone, I downloads the Ringdroid app, and I gets to work. I ask her what song it is. I go to YouTube, get the YouTube converter. I puts it on her phone, right? So my auntie is so thankful. She's so astonished about it. And then the thought came to me. The reason why she wanted this uplifting tone, like my auntie wanted like one of the Jesus tones. We ain't gonna talk about it, but it's one of those uplifting Jesus walk tones. She wanted one of those uplifting tones on her phone, and it dawned on me why she wanted that uplifting tone. In the age that she happens to be in, with the limited capabilities that she has, when her phone rings, she wants to enjoy the fact that it's ringing. She wants to enjoy the fact that people are reaching out to her. That's a very similar concept when it comes down to exchange of energy, happiness, and goals, right? A lot of us are in positions to where we just want somebody to reach out and tell us that it's okay to pursue that dream. It's okay for you to go out here and chase that money. It's okay for you to leave those people alone. It's okay for you to walk away from that family. That we need that validation. Well, in order to get the validation that you need from yourself, in order to really start the process of knowing thyself, you need to know the things that uplift you in the moments in which you were down. We all get to a point where we want to prepare for those down moments, but we forget that we need to put the preparation into play as we're in the good moments. When you're in your good moments, you want people to take the opportunity to really care, right? In order for them to take the opportunity to care, you got to care about you first. I said it in all of my videos first, and I say it again. Thank you for watching. But you got to care about you first. You got to be the most important thing to you at all times. And in order for you to be the most important thing to you at all times, you have to make sure that you are putting yourself in a position to where you are uplifted at all times. It's that fucking simple. How is it that simple? Well, it's as simple as setting a ringtone for yourself. So currently, I just set a new ringtone, which is a reggae jam on my phone that's really about giving thanks so that I can keep giving blessings. It's that simple. The lyrics to that song is thank you so much for me to be able to give blessing. Why? Because sometimes people take advantage of that. And I was going to make a whole video about this, but we're going to get into it right now. People take advantage of the fact that you are more than willing to help. So you get a person like me and they're like, yeah, we're going to go ahead and milk them for everything they got. We're going to go ahead and we're going to take from her and we're going to leave her with nothing. Well, the problem is everything you took from me was a blessing for you. And if you didn't use it, I also have the power to return it back to me. And in order for me to return it back to me every day when my phone rings, I have an uplifting song that reminds me that the blessing I gave to you was not something that I gave in void. Because you didn't use it doesn't mean that I can't get it back, and it doesn't mean I can't give it to somebody else in return. So at the end of the day, I didn't lose nothing, but you did. because you came into my atmosphere and you tried to abuse my blessing, and that's not the way it works. So what I'm saying is exactly the title of this video. Who's calling you? Who you answering your phone for? Because at the end of the day, if you're not taking the time to set your ringtone so that so every time your phone rings, you can be reminded of the empowered individual that you are. And I'll go further back into my walk. So in 2010, when I first decided to start setting ringtones for myself, the first ringtone that I ever set for myself was a Beyonce song. Now, mind you, I am a diehard Destiny's Child fan. Okay, me and the Destiny's Children gets down for real. No, the original Destiny's Children, not the added two, not the added one. The original Destiny's Children, the writings on the wall. That was me and the Destiny's Child. I was a fan along with TLC. We ain't gonna talk about it. But when Beyonce took that step and she became an independent artist, I decided that I was going to go ahead and use her independent artist song. My very first song that I put on my phone as my ringtone was Me, Myself, and I. Why did I put that song on there? I put that song on there because I was reminding myself daily, every time my phone rang, that the only people I had in my corner was me, myself, and I. And that was the part of the song that I put on my phone. Is all I got to the end, and now you know where it's at, right? But if a lot of you understand the lyrics to that song, you understand the pain that she underwent. And at that time, I was undergoing some serious pain. I was growing from being a young adult to being a full-fledged adult, understanding that my life was in my hands, that my bills got paid by me. If I didn't show up to work, that I had consequences. I couldn't call my mom and have her cuss out my supervisor and none of that. I was in charge of a lot of real shit at that time. So back at that time, and I say 2010, back in 2010, my ass was out here setting my ringtone. So I had Me, Myself, and I as a ringtone. And I'm clearly reminded now as I'm setting my new, hey, Queen, hey, welcome. Let's talk about a Tuesday. Who's calling you, right? So with this Talk About It Tuesday, I'm talking about setting ringtones for your phone. I'm talking about it because it's the most simplistic form of self-upliftment, of self-ideation, of self-portrayal. Every time your phone rings, even if you're in a store and it rings with an uplifting song, it can take away anxiety from you to make that next big move in life, to make that next purchase that's going to allow you to get it further than where you are at this moment. And I wasn't supposed to be here long. I told you I wasn't going to be here long, but this is where I'm at with it, right? So I was talking, y'all. Me, Myself, and I is what I had in the end. Last year I used Lizzo's Water Me. Why? Because at the end of the day, I was going through some stuff too. If y'all listen to these songs, a lot of us have our own uplifting song. That song that we listened to when we was going through the lowest of the low. Some of y'all might have a SWV Week in there. You might have a In Vogue Get Out in there. I'm sorry, Changing Faces Get Out. My bad. Changing Faces Get Out in there, right? You might have some of these old school songs or even a new song. Somebody might be rocking with the Cardi B Kodak Yellow. Somebody might be rocking with that new Body Yaddy Yaddy because right now they're in love with their parents, right? Your ringtone is exactly, everybody has a ringtone that fits them. But what I'm explaining is that ringtone that fits you is the same as your spirituality. That ringtone, when your phone rings, it allows you to make a connection with yourself that nobody else understands but you. We set ringtones for certain people, like for my real sisters, for my queens who call me, who got my real number. They got their own special ringtone for them. So when that phone rings, I know it's them and I know what I'm about to say to them. I know what kind of message I'm about to give to them. I know what's about to go down. Not because I'm an empath, not because I'm psychic, not because I'm an oracle, but because I set it uplifting ringtone. So when they reach out to me, whether they know it or not, there is a ringtone attached to that line that is designed for them to be uplifted. What if you took that same kind of care and purpose to your own dreams and ideas? So the time that we spend on making a ringtone, why aren't you spending that time on developing your business and working out who your investors could be? You never know who might be available to give you $10 to $15 to start that business. You don't know who might be available to give you those words of encouragement to tell you you're not crazy for putting candle packages together. You might not know who's out there who's willing to give you that travel recommendation that you need. But you setting ringtones though. You out here being the hottest bitch. You the baddest one. You the. Your phone says a lot about you. And why isn't it speaking positivity to you at all times? Even if it's ringing with a scam likely, that motherfucker should be speaking positivity to you at all times. Why are you allowing yourself to talk bad to you? And that's just what I'm saying out here. So when I said who's calling you, and I'm dead ass serious about it, who's on your line? If you are answering your phone for fuck shit, that's your fault, right? But if you got a ringtone for fuck shit, you can start to avoid the fuck shit on purpose. You can start to live your life on the happy sector on purpose. When you start to live on purpose, you start to live in purpose. And when you live in purpose, you start to get all of the blessings. So instead of fucking people over, you start to find people who can give you more than you could ever imagine to receive. You can end up with opportunities that you didn't even fucking know were available because you decided to take a leap of faith on you. You decided to be your number one investor. You decided to be the person that was going to build you no matter what. And it starts with a fucking ringtone. Who's calling? So I said this because Talk About It Tuesday, I really want to keep it on real shit and I want to keep us on progressive thought. And I really be thinking about stuff like this, like real talk. It's like I'm sitting down, it's already March, we already damn near went through a quarter of the fucking year. So in 2021, my businesses are booming, but there's also some stuff that I lacked in 2020 that I needed to beef the fuck up for 2021. And in order to sit down and pay attention to that, I started to change my fucking ringtones. And I'm dead ass serious. You start with some real simplistic shit, some real basic stuff to give you the upliftment that you need. So on top of the fact when my phone rings every day, it rings with a message that keeps me fucking motivated. It rings with an intention that tells me that I need to keep moving forward. I'm not crazy. I'm doing exactly what my purpose is, and I need to keep moving in it. Because at the end of the day, I started with me, myself, and I. Right? Like when I started creating fucking ringtones, I started with me, myself, and I. Everybody had the and if you remember that little jingle, you also remember it was Jurassic Park. So everybody hear that and everybody started looking for a fucking T-Rex. Well, how about the fact that the T-Rex is your self-doubt? Your anxiety, your depression, you're beating you up, all of your no's, all of the closed doors. That's your fucking T-Rex. What if you could change the fucking tone? And in changing the tone, you could change what that T-Rex looks like. Maybe it ain't a T-Rex no more. Maybe it's a unicorn now. Maybe it prances a bit. Maybe it's not even a fucking unicorn. Maybe it's your favorite pony. Maybe it's that Alaskan Husky you've always wanted. I'm just putting all of this shit out there that I've always imagined to have in life because I'm going to get it. Why am I going to get it? Because now I understand that where happiness truly comes from. My happiness doesn't come from riding on the backs of others and using people for obligations. My applicants, yes, I'm trying to tell you, I be stroking my beard because I'm dead serious, right? My happiness doesn't come on the heels of other people. My happiness comes because I purposely set the intention for me to be fucking happy every goddamn day. And I set it with a small fraction of setting a fucking ringtone. So even if I get a scam likely call, and that's the only call I got all day, that bitch rang with intention. And when it rang with intention, it played my favorite fucking song that boosted me up a couple notches. So even though I might have been vibrating on the 7, my phone rang and it played my favorite song. Now a bitch is up on a 9. And vibrating on a 9 put me closer to where my goal is on a 10. So at the end of the day, are we paying attention to what we're bringing into our lives? And are we drawing the shit that we actually want?
When I talk about it, I really talk about it from the realistic standpoint. This is some real shit that you can really do as a real individual. You don't have to be a high priestess. You don't even have to be in spirituality to begin with. You can still be in your practice religion in order to get yourself higher, in order to vibrate to the things that you want the most, the things that you are asking and praying for. Why don't you start by changing your fucking ringtone? Why don't you start by putting a ringtone on there for the motherfuckers who cause you distress so that you can understand the distress is coming and that they can keep that shit with them? Because I'm gonna go into a whole nother topic about who's ringing your phone, like real talk. I started with the ringtone, so after you answer your phone, remember this shit. Whatever that person is trying to dump on you, that's their motherfucking problem. That shit can hit the ground. It ain't gotta land on you. You ain't gotta pick up nobody's burdens but your own. I don't give a fuck if it's your sister, your uncle's best friend. And like I said, my favorite auntie in the world could call me right the fuck now. And if she happen to have a problem, she got a motherfucking problem. If I decide to assist, then that's what I'm doing. I'm making a decision to assist. You have to understand that just because a person rings your line and you answer it does not oblige you to fix they shit. So let's put it into perspective. I had a homie, I love my homies, I truly do. Had a homie hit me up and was like, yo, for example, and this is truly just hit me up, like, yo, your yoni steams. And I picked this up, your yoni steams. How much am I supposed to use? I said there's 6 to 8 servings in here. Like you can use, there's 6 to 8 steams in this 4-ounce container. So if you use the whole thing, you use the whole thing. But there's 6 to 8. Well, what's the actual measurement? Is it a cup? Is it the teaspoon? I told you. There's 6 to 8 servings. Like you can use this 6 to 8 times. That's the only way I can put it out. There's 6 to 8 fucking steams in here. So however you work out your 6 to 8 is how you work it out. And they're like, well, yo, what's the exact measurement? And I said, well, yo, that seems to not be my problem. Because at the end of the day, I provided you with the fucking steam. I told you how many you could possibly use. Whether or not I gave you exact instructions on how to use it does not seem to be my problem. That's where you're supposed to come in with your ingenuity. And that's where I draw the line, and it's not my fucking problem. Now, some other people might have been like, you know what? I'm gonna measure it out for you, and they'd have pulled out the measuring cup and sifted it and did all of. Me personally, I stand in my own power. I ain't got time with that. And like you said, right, work within your power. In my own power, I do not have time to lay out exactly how much you should use. I told you how many uses you got in that motherfucker. And if you want to use your own ingenuity, you can figure out more or less. That is up to you. And the problem with a lot of human beings is they can't receive that information without being offended. It's like, why would you talk to me like that? Why can't you just tell me the exact number? I can't tell you the exact number because you are not me. And the way I use my steam and the way you use your steam is not going to be the same. The pot that you use ain't going to be the 10-year-old pot that I'm using. Therefore, it's not going to work the same. At the end of the day, I'm trying to alleviate all of this in between discussion to tell you that you are living your fucking life. I'm living mine. My phone rang. I answered it. You asked your question. I gave you an answer. The details are up to you. I'm not going to extend any further energy and going into details with somebody who don't fucking need them. Why? Because whether I told you it was a teaspoon or I told you it was a cup, at the end of the day, you was going to decide whether or not you was going to use it and how. So what difference did it make whether I told you it was a teaspoon or a cup? We just went through a whole conversation and communication for fucking what? So that you could try to steal energy from me that you don't deserve to have. We ain't going to let you come into that arena. We're going to stop that shit right there. I answered the phone. I answered your question. I love you dearly. Goodbye. It is that simple. Why is it that simple? Because when you have a person who decides that they are going to overpower you with their burdens, you need to do your own due diligence by telling them it's their shit and letting them figure out their shit. Why? Because their shit ain't got no place on your shit. Because when you add your shit and their shit, you get shit you ain't got no business handling. Exactly. Boom, we done. You get Shit you ain't got no business handling. Now you stressed out about some shit that ain't got nothing to do with you. How the fuck you gonna be worried about somebody else's shit when clearly you ain't got all of yours together? Otherwise, you wouldn't have time to be worried about their shit. And it's that simple. And I ain't trying to be rude. I just try to put it quite flat. Quite flat. If you answering your phone for the bullshit, understand you ain't gotta keep it. You can listen to it all day. And I told a whole nother friend this. Don't make no excuses for me. I'm very good at making my own excuses. So don't call me and be like, oh, I know you don't have time, and then keep you on the phone for 10 minutes. Because I'm gonna remind you within the first 3 minutes, because you called me and told me I didn't have time. So I'm gonna act like I ain't got time. How about that? Why am I going to act like I ain't got time? Because at the end of the day, we as human beings need to understand one thing for sure and two things for certain. We are acting like that we all have the ability to control the other person, and we do not. Just because you called me did not put you in control over my time at that point. It allowed you to get whatever you needed to get out, that connection to be made. And whatever purpose that you designed for that connection is the only purpose I'm going to allow you to get out of it. How do you get to that point? Well, you start by identifying the ringtone. If you got a friend who is always with the bullshit, please do yourself a favor and identify them with a ringtone that's about the bullshit, so that you can understand to not answer your fucking phone if you ain't about the bullshit right there. Why? Because your personal energy conservation. There we go. Your personal energy conservation is the most important thing to you. If you are allowing people to drag your energy away from you with the bullshit, and you along for the bullshit, understand it, you ain't gonna get to shit. You gonna be bull and shitting all day. all day. But that's what I'm getting at, y'all. I want to be clear, like, when you answer your phone, you need to understand that it needs to ring with a fucking purpose. If you have people who are calling you, constantly taking something from you, they are not ringing you with a purpose. If they give them a ringtone that has no fucking purpose, and don't answer that shit. Surround yourself with purposeful things. Find you a tone that does you the most justice, your uplifting tone. If it's a depressive tone for right now, that's okay. Y'all heard me. My very first ringtone was Me, Myself, and I. I kept that bitch for 6 months. The one after that was Drop the World on Your Fucking Head by Lil Wayne. Quit playing. Why? Because at that point, I had understood after the hurt and pain, I was allowed to be angry, and I very well should have been. But allowing myself to be angry and very well should have been, I didn't take it out on everybody, but I understood when they called me that I had a chip on my shoulder, and my response was going to be just that chip. So after that, I had to change my ringtone to something different. Why did I have to do it? Why? Because I continue to move through an elevated cycle. Every time my phone rang, I built a different connection to elevate my cycle. I might have started at a 2, but I ended at a 12. Hello. What you don't do is allow yourself to get blocked in those fucking cycles. Don't keep the regular same ass T-Mobile jingle. Change that shit. Make it be uplifting. Make it be something worth your while. So when your phone rings, it's ringing with a purpose. So when that bitch, so when you're attached to the motherfucker, you attached with a purpose. Quit building useless attachments in answering your phone. And it's that simple. Just like we don't give our real numbers out nowadays. Everybody got a Google Voice number. You can hit me up on Instagram or Messenger. You can call me on Duo, Telegram, all of that shit. We got 5,000 different conferencing fucking platforms. Nobody has to have a real number nowadays. And because you no longer have to have a real number, let's talk about that shit. I no longer have to exchange real energy with you. But that's where our default is right now. If you listening to this and you feeling the lowest of the low, I want you to take this encouragement to heart. I want you to understand that this point is never going to last that long. This point is something that can definitely be changed. And the only reason why you here is because you like it for right now. And that's okay. When you get tired of liking being low, you're going to decide to be high. And I ain't talking about smoking. You're going to decide to be high, but sometimes it starts with a song, right? Sometimes it starts with an uplifting voice. Sometimes it starts with somebody who's telling you that your idea is not crazy. You are not losing your shit. You are actually doing what you need to do as a human being out here. You are developing the way you need to develop. And that's just the way it goes. So if you want to check it for real, and I didn't mean to keep y'all this long, I really didn't, but I wanted to make sure I got my point across when Talk About It Tuesday. Who's ringing your phone? Who is ringing your phone? Like, real talk. Are you surrounding yourself with valuable connections that you are receiving and giving to? And it's that simple. Because if you don't know about my podcast, you need to get on there on Anchor, the CWC Education Station, same as YouTube. Get on there on Anchor and get on that podcast. I'm sorry, no, Spirituality Basics on the podcast. My bad. CWC Education Station on Patreon. Whoops. I'm working on it, right? I'm practicing. I'm putting it into perfection. I'm working on it. That's what practicing is about. And when I'm talking about the energy exchange, it really is about that ringtone. Your phone needs to ring with upliftment. It needs to ring with purpose. It needs to have a valuable connection. And if you're out here just with a basic ass tone, do yourself a favor and change it. Why not? What's the worst that could happen? You could get a call and be happy. I'm just saying. Right. So don't allow somebody to call you with the bullshit. I did drop a couple of different gems, and I'll go back real quick on the gem. I want to be clear though, like crystal fucking clear. If you haven't taken a moment, take the time today to take care of yourself. Take the time today to truly know thyself. Understand what your ringtones was about from the past to the present. If you're a person like me who have been setting ringtones for the past 10 years, take the opportunity to go back over your last 3. Understand your middle space where you were. Understand your elevation. Say thank you and keep that shit moving forward. And understand that every time your phone rings, it needs to ring with a fucking purpose. The people in your life need to be assigned a tone so that they can understand that they have a fucking purpose. Why? Because when you identify people's life's purpose within your life, which means you can't call me with the bullshit. You can't call me and dump on me. Don't you ever feel like you're calling me and interrupting me from doing something unless I told you I was doing it. Quit calling me and making excuses for me as to why I couldn't do something for you without you bothering to ask me. Check these motherfuckers. Do the humans in your life a favor by allowing them to understand that they are not invisible. They are not unchecked. Check their asses. Let them know that you have a purpose within my life. You ring with the tone within my life, and the tone within the tone that you bring within my life has abundance and blessing with it. And it's a two-way street. It's never a one-way street. So if you decide that you're going to call and dump on me, remind yourself that I'm not accepting dumps. I don't accept the shit. But I will help you clean it up if you ask for my assistance. Otherwise, I'm going to be sitting here listening to how you got a problem and I can't help you with it. It's that simple. It's that simple. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, y'all. All right. So thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining me for this live right quick for this Talk About It Tuesday. And I'm dead serious. Share it with your friends. Let them know. Tell them, change their motherfucking ringtones. Let them know you ring with a purpose within my fucking life. And I'm not here for you to dump on me. But I'm here to give you as many blessings as I possibly can because I ain't got time for that shit. I ain't got time because we living happy, we living well. So thank y'all so much. Thank you. Thank you, Mika. Thank y'all. Thank you. All right, y'all. We seeing you.